Hello YouTube, it is me again, your favorite Texas trucker. And the little favorite Texas trucker. We are here in Louisiana on exit 3 at the Flying J, on our way to Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we will deliver on Monday. Today is Friday, the 17th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. 17th? What day is this? I don't know. Neither one of us know what day it is. He's going to try to figure it out. But anyway, it's somewhere around the 17th. So I thought we'd give you an update and let you know what's been going on and kind of tell you where we're at right now. So I'd been having some problems with the truck, all right, and you know, for a while now it's been throwing this 343 code, and then it started throwing that 245 code, and I think a 432 code, I'm not sure. Anyway, something like that. Anyway, it was throwing 3 different codes.
It's like a 345.
I think it was 245. Anyway, but anyway, it was throwing multiple codes, and it was shutting down on me all the time. And last week I was delivering in Atlanta, Georgia, and we were on I-75, and I was in the middle lane of traffic running about 65 miles an hour, and all of a sudden I have no engine, you know, and so luckily I was able to coast over and get onto the shoulder of the road, but that 343 code started just shutting my engine off, and it happened 2 or 3 times in one day. And
17th.
It's 17th? Yeah, he says it's 17th. So anyway, it happened 2 or 3 times in one day, and I really started to get concerned about it. It was doing it a few times when we were stopping. A couple times when we would idle, it would say that whichever one of those codes came up, it would say that there was 0 voltage to some connector, and that the truck would only idle. It wouldn't do anything else. I'd have to shut the truck off and reset it and start it back up a couple of times, and about the 2nd or 3rd time through doing that process, it'd clear the code out and I could go on about my business. And but it got to where about once every hour or so it would shut it off. So I got a hold of dispatch, and I told them I needed to get the truck home so I could get it in the shop in Fort Worth, and they got me a load going all the way over to the west part of Louisiana, and then, you know, just before I got over to pick up the load, they canceled the load on me and said the product wasn't ready, so they didn't have a load, and then they couldn't get me anything until Monday, and so I just told them, you know, that I was going to go ahead and deadhead home from Birmingham, Alabama. And so about 700-800 mile deadhead, and I took it on home. Really long deadhead. I could have put it in the shop, you know, closer to there, but I didn't want to sit in a hotel room and then have to pay hotel cost. And, you know, when you figure in the hotel cost and the cost for eating out, then it would have cost me about the same in fuel just to take my ass home. Turned out to be a good thing that I took my ass home, because it took 5 days to get my truck back. Put it in the shop in Kenworth, and you know, they went through their little diagnostic routine and confirmed what I already knew, that I needed a new ECM. They put an ECM in it. The ECM they put in was no good. It was what they call a brick. You know, it wouldn't connect to anything. It was a dead ECM. So then they had to send out and get another ECM, and, you know, and get it in, and they put that in and recalibrated everything, got it all fixed, and so now my truck's back. And since I've gotten the truck back, it's run a little bit smoother. Some things have changed in the way it operates, and I'm not exactly sure that I'm real happy with that. But, you know, we'll just have to wait and see how things go. Prior to me putting the truck in the shop, I was running about 75 miles an hour at about 1,250 RPMs, 1,250 to 1,275 depending on the terrain, and I was really happy with that. You know, I mean, I was getting a decent fuel mileage. I think I'd gotten it up to about 6.5, 6.75 miles to the gallon, something like that, right in that area. And then now, I don't know what my fuel mileage is, but now running at 75 miles an hour, I'm running right at about 1,350 RPMs. So I've lost about 100 RPMs somehow, and I'm not sure how that's going to affect my fuel mileage. The truck actually does seem to be running better. It seems to be running a lot smoother. So maybe, maybe it won't offset things too much, but now I'm running 75 miles an hour. I'm hitting about 1,350 RPMs instead of 1,275, 1,250. So I'm not real sure I'm happy with that, but as long as the truck doesn't throw any damn codes and it keeps running the way I want it to run, I'm good with it. I haven't had a single code thrown since I've had the truck, back, and so I got the truck back last night. I got a load this morning, and so we're on the road again, me and the kid. This is his last week out. He was out for a couple weeks with me when we had all the truck problems, and then he's out with me this week. So we'll take him back home Friday, and then his adventure out here this summer will be done until next year. Next year we'll have him back out here again. So anyway, I did want to say that I went up to Triple C yesterday, and day before yesterday. Yesterday? Did I go yesterday? Or was it the day before yesterday? Day before yesterday, because yesterday I was messing with the truck all day, trying to get the truck back right. All right. So it was the day before yesterday. I went up to Triple C, and I got told, I got called in. Well, I didn't really get called in. I was in the operation manager's office, Matt Drakus, and he told me that it had come to their attention that a lot of you guys are watching my videos and calling down there, maybe wanting to come to work for Triple C, which is really awesome, and he thanked me a lot for the videos and for putting their name out there, in a positive way, and man, that was awesome, so if you do decide that you want to come to work for Triple C, definitely give them my name, tell them that, you saw my videos and you wanted to give them a holler because of it, or whatever, put me down as a referral, and I'm more than happy, like I did with Millis when I was working at Millis, but I'm more than happy to help y'all any way I can. Triple C's an awesome company, This ECM cost me $4,498, right? Yeah. Boy, he was there with me the whole time. $4,498 is what it cost me to get it fixed. I only had $3,400, and Triple C came in. I've got $422, I think, in escrow. I would have nearly $1,000, but I used up a bunch of it getting the fuel line fixed and getting an oil changed. But anyway, I had like $422 in escrow. So Triple C put that $422 of escrow towards my repairs, and then they covered the rest of it. And then of course they're taking that out of my paychecks, as they come out. But they did cover the rest of it. They didn't have to do that, And that's about the third time they've come to my third or fourth time. Shoot, that may be the fourth. Well, it may have been the fourth or fifth time. I don't know. There's been a lot of times they've come to my rescue, and they're just awesome people. They're really good folk. And anyway, what do you think about Triple C? You met him, so what do you think?
I like it.
You like it? What do you think about Matt?
Awesome.
You like him? And Sandy? You met Sandy too, right? Yeah. Good people up there, right? Yeah. They're going to get us some hats. They told me this week that they were going to give them to me, this time they were out. So I'm going to get me a Triple C hat. My boy here loves those hats, so he's got him a couple Millis hats, and he's got him a Peterbilt hat, and he's really wanting to get him a Triple C hat so he can represent Triple C for us. But and it's a great company, man. And we had some drivers quit recently.
There's a bunch of trucks up there.
And there's a bunch of trucks up at the terminal. I'm not sure what's going on there, but they're hiring on a couple new ones too. We met one of the guys that had just signed on. He had a long nosed Pete with a gray hood. And man, I can't remember his name. He told me his name. I can't remember his name, but I talked to him for a few minutes.
Russell or something?
Was it Russell? Something like that. Yeah, you don't remember either? I can't remember, man. There's the phone. Looky there. Anyway, yeah, he said I think I'm upside down there. Yeah, that's how it was. Anyway, yeah, he said he watches my videos, and and that he came to Triple C because some of the videos that I put out there, and that's really awesome, that they have that kind of an effect, man. So I really appreciate y'all watching, man. And man, if y'all want to come to Triple C, hey, we can use you. There was what 10 trailers, something back there, maybe 10 trailers. So I mean, they've got room for new drivers. Like I said, we had a few quit.
They're even selling trucks.
Yeah, they got 3 trucks for sale. They got the red Volvo for sale, the blue Pete 379 for sale, and the blue W900 for sale. Yeah. So if you're in there looking for a new truck, or not a new truck, but if you're in there looking for a truck, I'll tell you that all their trucks are meticulously maintained. They're in excellent condition. That W900, it's got an ISX engine in it. It's just been recently rebuilt, and I believe it's still under warranty, so they want like $54,000 for it, but it's a 2007 pre-DEF, right before all the DEF came out, so it doesn't have any of that DEF crap on it, and it's a sweet looking truck, man. It's nice. The Pete I don't know as much about, but I know the Pete's got one of them closed off headache racks, the ones that's got the cabinets in the back.
So it's ready for you to, all you have to do is put all your chains and everything in it, and you don't have to buy it, well, you have to buy it with the truck, I guess, but you could just put a headache rack, well, you just put all your chains and stuff in there, be ready to go. Yeah,
be ready to go. You got the headache rack's already there, it's ready to go, it's set up for flatbed. It's already up. They've already got. Damn, there was my phone again. Well, I tell you what, man, I don't usually have them problems. But anyway, it's all set up for flatbed. They've all got the Triple C logos already on the truck. If you can get approved for a loan and you want to come over to Triple C, come on over and get you a good truck in the process. If you already got your own truck. One thing I'll say is that Triple C doesn't have any age restrictions on the truck, so as long as your truck will pass the DOT inspection, and as long as it doesn't have a lot of damn problems with it, I think I'm giving them a damn headache, with all the problems my truck's got. I may be giving them a headache, so they might look a little closer at your shit, since they didn't look, they didn't look and find all that stuff wrong with mine beforehand. But seriously, there's some good folk, and they'll put you to work. I did say some drivers quit, and I'm sure that somebody's going to ask why. And I'm just going to give an honest reason why I think they quit, and this comes from talking to a couple of the guys. All right, I met up with a couple drivers, and one of them I had dinner with. One of them I sat and talked to for quite a bit of time in the parking lot. And, we were up in Ohio. If y'all remember, there was that time I was up in Ohio where I sat for, like 4 days because, there just wasn't any freight up there. Well, what a lot of people don't understand, these guys, they're not really looking at the big picture. All right. And by what I mean by that is that all they're looking at is pay per mile. Okay. How much money am I making per mile? And both these guys work dry van, and the honest truth of the matter is that the market is down, and it doesn't matter. The market's not down for Triple C. The market's down, period, all the way across the board. It's down about 46% from where it was last year, and that hurts. It equates to lower rates, it equates to less money coming in, and these guys, I don't know, maybe they got a higher cost of living, maybe their trucks are more expensive to maintain, I don't know, but they didn't take any of that into consideration. They're not paying any attention to it. They don't know the fact that, the freight is down. All they see is that they weren't making as much money as maybe they were making 6 months ago, okay? And so they decided to move it on down and go somewhere else. Grass is greener on the other side of the fence type thing. Problem is grass isn't always greener on the other side of the fence, and they're going to go wherever it is they're going to go. They're going to run into the same thing because it's not a situation with the company. It's a situation with freight overall. Now, with that said, last time I was out, I lost a whole week worth of revenue, so I'm kind of in the hole. And then not only did I lose a whole week worth of revenue, but I lost $5,000 in repairs, or $4,500 in repairs. So I've got to make that up. But before that happened, that whole week before it happened, I had, I don't know, 8 or 9 runs, and out of those runs, I think 3 of them run about $2.19 a mile. 2 or 3 of them run $2.84, $2.85 a mile, right in that area. I think one of them was $2.79 a mile. One of them was $2.98 a mile. One of them was $3.05 a mile. I haven't even calculated the mileage on this one right here. It was 817 miles. I don't have a calculator handy, but anyway, it was 817 miles loaded. 53 miles deadhead, that's 817, 53, that'd be 870 miles for $1,800. Now, I don't know the math on it right now, because in order for me to access my calculator, it's on this phone. This phone I just happen to be using to make videos, but whatever 870 divided into the 1,800 is, that's what my rate per mile on this one is. And that's the first one coming out the box, so I think the kid's fixing to try to do the calculation over here, so hold on and I'll tell you. Because I really don't know. I haven't paid any attention to the rate per mile, and I'll tell you why here in just a second. I'll let him get to his calculator and we'll calculate that out, because I ain't smart enough to do it in my head. Alright, there's his calculator. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 1,800, 1800 divided by 870 divided by 870. There we go. Alright, equals. Alright, so $2.07 a mile. Okay. Not great, it's probably one of the lowest paying that I've had, but shit, it's still over $2 a mile. Alright, my cost for operating this truck, and when I figure the cost for operating the truck, I'm also figuring in my personal paycheck into that. My maintenance, all of my expenses with CCC, fuel, all that stuff is figured into operating my truck. And my cost for operating this truck is about $1.47 a mile. $1.45 a mile, I'm sorry. At $1.45 a mile, I can take as low as about $1.96, $1.95 a mile, and still meet my bottom line without having to worry about it. Everything I've made so far has been over that. So I told you I don't really pay a lot of attention to the cent per mile. What I pay attention to is my weekly cost. Okay. And so what I look at, and it may equate to the same thing with some of you. And there was a point where that's all I was concerned about was my cent per mile. But I figured out what it cost me to operate this truck for a week. Okay, and I've got it down to a cent per mile. I just told you it's like $1.45 a mile to operate the truck. I've got it down to a cent per mile. Problem is it's not always that easy to calculate. Okay, so for instance, I could be like one of these guys, and I can say, okay, well, in order for me to get $1.45 a mile, I have to make like $1. I think it's like $1.90 a mile. $1.90 a mile gets me my minimum amount that I have to operate the truck. Okay, but what I do is I might have to take a load that runs $1.54 a mile. All right. So my cutoff that at $1.54 a mile, again, I'm not smart enough to do the math, but it's somewhere like $1.20, $1.15, something like that a mile. I don't know. It's way under my cost. But then when you figure the fact that I've had a load that was $3.05 a mile, I've had several loads that were $2.90 something a mile, I've had several loads that were, $2.54, $2.55 a mile. I've had several that were $2.38 a mile. When you figure in that one that's $1.54 a mile, or that one that's $1, something a mile, that's a shit load, it all evens out in the end. In a week's amount of time, it costs me, and I don't have the figure right in front of me, but it costs me an X amount of money to run my truck. I typically run through about $850 worth of fuel in a week's time, maybe a little bit less. Honestly, I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to the exact amount. I know that my take home after expenses, that my take home exceeds what I had set aside for my income. Okay, and so I need an X amount of money to operate my truck. All right, and at the end of the week, if I make that much money, then I'm happy. Okay, my fuel cost is taken out of my settlements, so my fuel cost is already figured in. All right, my expenses with the company are taken out of my settlements, so those are already figured in. All right, the maintenance on my truck, the payments on my truck, the insurance that I have to cover on my truck, my personal income that covers my personal bills, my health insurance, and and my taxes and all of that stuff. That stuff is covered, and then some. So luckily for me, it's been like that because the expenses on my truck far exceed what I have calculated for them. My maintenance expenses are much higher than what I had set aside to pay for maintenance. So because my maintenance expenses have been so heavy the first year, the first 6 months, that I've been out, then it's a good thing that my income, drastically exceeds what I needed, because I've had to spend it all on maintenance. But I've been able to spend it all on maintenance, and I've been able to keep my truck running, fix everything that's wrong with it, and keep it on the road. I still have a few things that I need to fix. I have a leveling valve that needs to be replaced. It's leaking just a little bit, but it's leaking enough that I need to replace it. It's cracked, and I know it's bad, and I need to replace it. So that's one of the things I have to replace on the truck. And my air dryer, I think, needs to be replaced. I'm not absolutely positive it needs to be replaced, but I'm pretty sure it needs to be replaced, so I'm probably just going to replace it. I have I don't know what the hell kind of valve it is. It's on the top of my air tank underneath my truck, and it's a valve that's leaking. It's not leaking enough to make me seriously concerned, but it's leaking enough that I'm going to have to replace it. My shocks need to be replaced. I need a 3-axle alignment on my truck. So all these things I still need to do, and I'll be working towards doing them and getting it done. All right, but that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. Triple C is probably the best company I could have ever come to. I'm very, very, very happy here. And if you want to come to Triple C, you have any questions, you want to know, the real deal, let me know. Holler at me. Friend me on Facebook, send me messages. For some reason, I have a problem accessing messages that I get on YouTube, so I may or may not see them if you send them. I've found some messages that were months old, and I've responded to them. I am not ignoring you. Sometimes I just don't see them. Facebook is the fastest way to get a hold of me, so you can look me up on Facebook by my email, which is s.neill@yahoo.com. It's the fastest way to look me up on YouTube, because there ain't but one email not on YouTube, on Facebook, there ain't but one email using or one person using that email on Facebook, and it's me. So friend me on Facebook, ask me questions if you're really interested in coming over here. I will tell you this too, and that is that Matt Drykus, the operations manager, he's going to be the one that decides whether or not to hire you or fire you. That dude don't bullshit. If he tells you something, then he's telling you the truth. He doesn't fill you full of shit. He tells you the truth. He's a good dude, and that's just the way it is. So anyway, we've got a couple minutes left on the video. But the kid's been out here for a couple of weeks, so we want to see if he has anything he wants to add or say to it, or talk about his time out here, what he thinks about it. Go ahead.
I like it. I wish I could stay out here all year.
Yeah. Like it better out here than...
Yeah.
Right. And, he'll be out here again next year. You know, this kid right here, he knows more about trucks than most of these guys just getting out of school. And he's wanting to be a mechanic and a truck driver. And man, that's a good combination for an owner-operator, you know. So he's seeing some of the stuff that I get to go through. He gets to go to Kenworth with me when we go to Kenworth. He goes into the shop, watches what the mechanics do. You know, we put it in petro. We pretty much stand over the top of them until they're done, make sure they do it right. You know, and he gets to see it all, except for that one night we were in there all freaking night long, and we both climbed in the truck, went to bed. Said, screw it, right in the middle of the bay. Climbed in the truck, went to bed. Anyway, I guess that's pretty much the end of it. So, you know, like it, share it, and again, if you call Triple C wanting to get on with them, you know, or come over there to work and use my name, let them know that I sent you. And if you have any questions, friend me on Facebook, send me messages. You know, you get on with Triple C, you need a phone number, you want me to, you know, help you through anything, then feel free to give me a call. I'll give you my number. Hell, maybe we can even hook up and go have dinner somewhere. All right, y'all take care. Peace out.